Happy. I think it's been a really positive week for us. Today, I think, especially the first 35 minutes, 11 against 11, were exceptional. Scored 2 goals, could have scored many more, and then obviously the sending off changed the dynamic of the game.
Mikel was involved in the first 2 goals that you scored, but then we saw him come off and he'd got ice on his leg. Is that anything that you're worried about?
Yeah, he was sore because of the tackle, but it doesn't look anything serious.
Mathematically still not relegated, but all but relegated. How do you view the whole situation there now?
No, look, in terms of the table, we know for the last few weeks that, since the Wolves game really, that the mountain was going to be too high. And that's the situation. The mountain's been too high in terms of, the climb for the club has been incredibly quick. We've come from, the middle of League One to the Premier League in a very short space of time. It's been an incredible achievement, but things aren't always a linear upward trajectory. Sometimes you have to take a step back, and we'll do that in the best way possible and make sure that we keep pushing the club forward.
You've got another game coming up very quickly on Wednesday against Crystal Palace. How important is it that you keep the momentum going, you keep winning ahead of that huge game against PSG?
Yeah, same. We need to get the same rhythm from the start in that game as well, and try to win the game as well, and get all the confidence for the week after.
We'll come on to that Champions League tie shortly, but that was as routine a victory as you could wish to see, wasn't it?
It was routine, without doubt, but I thought Arsenal were exceptional, particularly in the first half. More so down their right-hand side, Ipswich left-hand side. They really struggled. They obviously identified a weakness in Ipswich, and they just couldn't cope. I mean, it's difficult enough when you're up against one of the world's best, and this guy Saka. You need all the help you can get, and that happened too many times. Trossard should hit that first time. He doesn't need the touch there, but just look at the space there. You're given top players that amount of space and that amount of time to take touches and run at you into the final third, like it happened there. They got the warning early on, and then they got punished there. And he missed the first one. He wasn't going to miss the second one in Trossard. Same thing again. If Clark just goes to his left and cuts that pass off, it might make it a little bit more difficult, but they just went after them. So they moved the ball at pace from right, this time down to the left-hand side, and it really was a matter of how many they were going to get. Similar thing again, look, if Clark just drops 10 yards and stops that pass, it's all right if it goes right into Ben White there. That's not a problem, but because he doesn't, then it's a simple pass over the top, and the same thing again, as I said, happened so many times that they're in and the right-hand side, they got punished once and they got punished again. And as I said, Arsenal, I thought were fantastic, but they certainly thought going down that right-hand side, as you can see, they would get more joy in doing that, and that's exactly what happened.
Defensively, is it easy to cut off one wing of the pitch?
Yeah, it would be, yeah. And ideally, you'd want your defenders to be communicating with the players higher at the pitch, because as a defender, if I do that, it makes my job easier, like Alan's just showed there. If your midfielders are more in a flat line and they're having to play it around you, it gives you more time to get back in shape. But I think Ipswich have defended like that all season. It's been one of their massive problems.
If you sort of throw it forward for Arsenal and the game that the Champions League semi-finals with Paris Saint-Germain, look, they obviously missed Saka for a big part of the season, and they didn't have Martinelli as well for part of that season. But by having those wingers back, it allows them a little bit more freedom with Trossard, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I mean, what
positionally,
what we saw with the team today might be looks as if I think might be the team that going in the Champions League, because Partey is injured, so they might have Moreno back into the midfield and Trossard up the middle. But there's no doubt about it. I mean, having Saka back on that right hand side and the form that he's in, I mean, it just and not playing so much football, but coming back straight into it and doing as well as he has been doing, is just incredible.
Because they'll need that balance, won't they? For that game, that gives them both energy and solidity against that Paris Saint-Germain midfield.
Yeah, and I think Partey will obviously be a big miss for them. So I think the manager's looked at it today and gone with he probably feels comfortable playing. Yeah. I think that would probably be their starting 11 as well for the Paris Saint-Germain game.
And I'm guessing he'll have seen what happened to Saka today with the challenge from Leif Davis, which we'll show in a minute. But before we show it, he's got to balance whether he loses a player to injury or whether he keeps his momentum going, because they'll want to keep that momentum going.
I think Lewis Skelly might come in into that left-back position, but they have certainly got options. But I was actually slightly surprised they went in as strong as they did today. But you've got to have that find that happy medium about not playing too much but putting them in. And they've also got a game or two before that as well. So I would imagine that there'll be rotation in the next game or two.
He was probably quite lucky, Saka, wasn't he? That he was just sore rather than something a bit more serious. It doesn't look great.
No. This is a really bad tackle. This is a red card, no doubt at all. And Leif Davis, who was getting the run around as it was, as we showed earlier, I don't know if it's frustration on his part, but he's got no chance of winning that ball. If he's trying to win that ball, he'll go with his toes first and try and poke it. He's nowhere near it. He knows straight away. And Saka's lucky, really, and Arsenal and Arteta are lucky that that's not a really bad injury, because it could be down the Achilles. I'm not sure what Leif Davis was thinking. I said maybe he's frustrated. He knows that he's done wrong there, because it's all right saying sorry now, but you've just left your team at 2-0 down with 10 men.
Do you agree with? Sorry, what did you say?
Poor challenge.
Yeah. Do you agree with Kieran McKenna then that sometimes you might need to go one step back to just take stock before you progress again after back-to-back promotions?
Possibly. They have gone up twice, which is difficult, and you're trying to play catch-up. They've spent a lot of money, but what bothers me about this Ipswich team, Kieran McKenna's, is his tactics. He seems to be very open every game, very easy to play against, and I don't think that. Yes, the Championship is a difficult league, but maybe he needed to adjust at some point. There's some sort of, it seems, stubbornness that he's going to play his way every game, and it clearly isn't working out very well for him.
Right, Liverpool couldn't win the title then because of that Arsenal win, but Leicester would be relegated if they failed to win. Steve Wilson was at the King Power.